Hello, this is Jim with the Veggie Jungle. Going to give you a tour of our AeroGarden Plus and AeroGarden Farms. We actually have, we actually have 5 units here, but we're going to discuss 4 of the units today. The 4 in the stackable towers. These are AeroGardens Plus on the top and AeroGarden XLs on the bottom. The difference between the two is the AeroGarden Pluses will do plants up to 24 inches tall, and the AeroGarden XLs on the bottom will actually do plants up to 36 inches tall. So what we did with these gardens, we actually bought the stacking kit as well. If we zoom up here, this is the stacking kit. There's actually brackets on both sides. It's almost like a U-shaped bracket. What happens is you actually have to take the feet off of the top unit, and then it fits in here and seeds in here almost like a U shape. And then what happens is this metal bracket gets put on, screwed on. It's a little loose, but what it does is it keeps the legs from coming out of the unit. They also recommend that you mount these units to the wall. We don't mount our units. They're pretty stable. I mean, they're a little wiggly, but we're happy with the way they sit in our little breakfast nook area here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a close-up on Dorothy. So we actually named our units. We call them the Groden Girls. So we actually have Dorothy, Sophia, Blanche, and Rose. What we do with that is we actually have a Facebook page called the Veggie Jungle, and then when we talk about our plants, we can actually talk about the unit they're in by name. So that's what we name them. That's why they have these little Funko heads in there. So talking about our lettuce, this is actually 2 weeks of growth, and there's actually 6 different varieties of lettuce in here, 4 of each plant. These here actually didn't take off when we first planted them. Here's little grow domes. We could take the grow dome off, and now they're coming in. And what's nice about AeroGarden is when they didn't take off, we actually sent a chat over to AeroGarden, let them know that our plants weren't taking off, and they actually send you a replacement at no charge. So AeroGarden actually really takes good care of their customers, of what we've noticed. And then what we'll do is we'll take a look over here in Sophia. And in Sophia, we have broccoli on this side and Brussels sprouts on this side. And then over here, we have their strawberries. Strawberries have been taking a little longer to come in. But if we take a little peek in there, you can see that there is some plant growth. So we're excited. Now, these were actually planted by us, not AeroGarden seeds. So what you can do is actually buy the pod kit. So it actually comes with the plastic container, the little peat moss. There you go. There's some root structure in there as well. And then you can actually put your own seeds in there. And then that's what we get for our own growth, which we're excited about that. Down here on the bottom, or Blanche, we actually have our peppers that we just planted a couple days ago, so we actually don't have any growth with those. And then over here we have our beefsteak tomatoes. And then if you see the little black caps, you want to put the black caps on so you don't get the light penetrating the water. That's where you can get algae growth. So we actually keep the holes covered when we're not putting plants in those holes. And then you can see we space these out because beefsteak tomatoes tend to get a little larger than most plants. Over here, this is Rose, and in Rose we are planting red heirloom tomatoes over here and yellow heirloom tomatoes over here. And these are actually seed kits that actually came with the units. They recommended that you don't fill in the 4 middle holes. That way it gives the plant a little growth room. And then the black structure here is a trellis system that you can actually adjust accordingly when it comes into play. Up here we'll talk about watering. This is where we put our water in this little unit here. If we open that up, this is where you add your water and your plant food into this little compartment here. Close that up, and then we can take a look at our control panel. So here's a brief overview of the control panel. You can control the left side and the right side. If we click left, we're doing everything on the left side. These arrows here are to raise and lower the light unit. Talk about your water levels and your plant food. You can tell that we just feeded the plants because the plant level food is at 14 days, and we've had it 14 days planted. So we fed them this morning. If we go into more options, setting up your Wi-Fi, I actually have this linked to my phone. So what you see on here, I can actually see on my phone. And then setting your clocks, your pumps, if you need to contact them directly, helpful tips and tricks. So it's a pretty neat unit. We're very happy with the unit. The other thing we kind of like over here on the side, there's actually a little door unit. There we go. This is our drain tube, and then on the other side we keep our snips and our tweezers, just for doing plant maintenance. Keeps them real nice and close, and it all closes up into one little unit. So if we take a step back here, we do have them in our breakfast nook. We like the units overall. The building of the unit was actually pretty simple, very self-explanatory in the directions. The only issues that we had are the screws seating into the pre-drilled screw holes. I think what happened in the paint process, the hole gets drilled first and then it gets painted, and some of the paint can get into that groove. So what we did is we actually took the screws and we screwed them in beforehand, kind of break up or loosen some of that pre-painted screw hole, and then we put the unit together, and it actually worked a lot easier when we were putting the pieces together once that area of paint was missing. Hope you enjoyed the tour. Thanks for watching, and hope your gardening is as fun and exciting as ours.